Welcome to the Gorlok experience. I am Tina Teen. Today I'm joined with Mariam, Kote, and Ashot. And today we're going to talk about life outside of university and how you can properly balance it out.
Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
Alright, I think it's a very important topic, and we're all gathered here to discuss it. Why? Exactly. Well, because all of us students are incredibly busy. We have classes, we have homework, we have finals upcoming, but then outside of that we also have our projects, our student clubs, some of us are in the SGA, some of us are working, and some of us have life. Some of us touch grass. So we need to discuss how to properly let everybody touch grass. Right?
Yeah, fair point.
I think we should begin with letting everybody speak about themselves. Like, what do you do inside of university and outside, and how you balance it. And maybe in the end we can come to the conclusion of how to properly do it.
Maybe you can start, Kote.
Oh my god.
Putting you in the spotlight.
Alright, I'll start. Well, inside of university I just attend classes, try to get good grades. You know, I'm in the SGA with Tina Teen.
He's pretty active.
Yeah, we got this podcast coming up, you know what I'm saying? First episode. But outside of university, I have a lot of work to do, with pretty much zero time left for myself. I have like an hour in the evening to walk. So I'm pretty much interested in how you all balance your work, student, touch grass, life balance.
Yeah, well, during high school, I was pretty inactive. I always prioritized my own interests and taking time to do things that I like. But it all changed when I went to university and when I came to Webster University, Georgia, because I was introduced to a variety of out-of-class activities that would interest me and benefit me in the long run. So safe to say that I took a lot of work in university, like both inside and maybe also extracurriculars. And I'm pretty much extremely busy. Like, I barely have time for myself, but it's extremely satisfactory work. I'm not complaining about it.
And you also took an internship in a university too, right?
Yes, inside of university, I was interning for Miriam. I was in the admissions office, and my duty.
It's a good opportunity, right?
Yeah, it was extremely interesting. I got the chance to communicate with prospective students from all around the world, and I think it was an extremely rewarding experience. Besides, I also work at a translation service, and I think that's also just extremely beneficial for me in the long run.
And how do you balance it out?
It's extremely hard for me because I'm not used to having a proper schedule. I barely went to school, really. I used to skip all the time, so the discipline is not something that comes to me naturally. It's a learned skill for me. So the best that I can try is to basically make a to-do list every single day and kind of follow through it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I always make sure to still leave around an hour or 2 hours for myself, because it's just extremely necessary for sanity to, don't go insane, basically. Yeah.
Well, I'm an extreme workaholic since high school. I do not have time for myself at all, but, I do bunch of things. I will study at the university. We're at the SGU, so that comes with its own responsibilities. I also have an internship at the U.S. Embassy, which is also very duty-worthy, and I don't know, it's a great experience, great, prosperous internship, but it comes with its own negative sides in terms of balancing out your time. And basically my day is going to the university, going to the embassy, coming home, doing the university homework, and I also tutor kids in English. And then I have the students, and then I sleep. But, however, I still want to manage time and be socially active. So I kind of I'm usually free on Saturdays. So I go out on Saturdays, just have a look around the city, try new food, whatever. And then, it comes at its own cost, because on Saturdays I usually do my homework, like, and it's kind of stressful because I don't meet the deadlines very well. Yeah, but I try to. I do meet deadlines, but it comes at the expense of my mental well-being.
What matters is that you're doing your best. So
exactly, yeah. Okay, I should go now.
I didn't know I have so balanced classmates. I'm very proud of you guys. Well, when it comes to me, I have to say that my life is going quite chill after I came to Georgia, because I don't have much to do. Like when I was back in my high school in Norway, I had a lot to do. Like I would have tons of deadlines. I would have a lot to do. But now it's pretty chill. Like doing sports, coming to university, having fun here. Of course, learning a lot. But my life is way better than it used to be. So I'm pretty thankful to the country of Georgia and to the branch of Webster University branch of Tbilisi, because it has given me the opportunity to make my social life better, because I'm socializing more than I used to. My friend Kota, you are looking at me, you want to say something?
I feel like we are all trying to balance everything out, like plan everything, to-do lists, calendars. And I am extremely busy with my work. Like we have a consulting company and there's so much to do. There's literally like, I even sometimes on Saturdays and Sundays, I have zero time for myself. Maybe like an hour in the evening to go out with friends. The funny thing is, you're talking about like calendars and to-do lists. I have a calendar opened up in front of me right now, and I'm trying to balance my life. I have like this podcasts figured out on the calendar, but everything else is empty. So there's literally nothing that's still under my control. But yeah, it's just a game of don't go mental.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we have to say that it's very different for those who are nationals of the country where we attend the university, and for those who are guests or who are international students, basically, because you have to learn the language, you have to get new friends, and sometimes you do not manage to do it, so it's a bit harder for international students.
Also, have you guys noticed that at the beginning of the year, I was not used to socializing as much, because my social battery would run out very easily. Even though I love socializing with people, I love meeting people and everything like that. But now, if I go throughout my whole day meeting with people, like talking to them, I don't have that experience and like that feeling of, oh wait, I'm drained out from like talking and speaking, because I can speak all I want. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I just think it takes time to get used to. It's like an acquired skill to be comfortable around people and not get drained.
Yeah, just like kind of like expand your comfort zone in terms of that.
Yeah, it's like a very extroverted thing, I feel like, because if you're a natural introvert, it's very hard. Yeah, especially after like work. I remember in the beginning of last year, we would go out, like the whole class in the evenings, we would meet up. But then it's so draining.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know, yeah. I also experienced that.
But now, after, for example, in the embassy, you have to talk to lots of people, especially I'm in the public diplomacy section. It's like the whole thing about it is talking. And I come home and it's like I have to do the lessons with my students, so it's like I have to talk more, so it kind of like encourages me to expand my comfort zone in terms of that. So yeah.
Do you feel like it's do you feel like you sometimes just go onto autopilot, like in some things where in the beginning of the day maybe you're too sleepy to be good for university and just you're on autopilot in university, at some point you wake up and then in the evening you go onto autopilot?
Yes, in the evening, yes. Especially when I usually take the bus, so I am on full autopilot there too. And I try to do my homework in the bus as well, even though when I'm standing. No, it's not like trying to write it, but like thinking about it, you know?
Yeah, it's just like planning everything out so you don't waste too much time at home and you live a bit more time for yourself.
But speaking about the place we're at right now, how has our lovely university contributed to your experience in balancing the social life and the errands you need to run?
I think everyone would agree with us that our uni schedule is very flexible.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just like extremely grateful that we don't have tons and tons of homework, because we have time to do our own research on topics, and maybe focus on our self-growth outside of like the traditional studies, basically.
No, but I think that's just the first year or two. It's gonna be worse on the
No, I mean,
I don't think so, honestly.
like each semester has like 3 subjects or something, or 2 subjects, so it's really easy to manage. In Georgian universities, it's usually like in one semester you have 6 subjects. So imagine how stressful that can be. So it's like really flexible in terms of if you want to work outside of university.
Well,
you
but
can.
we don't know because we're having a lot less homeworks than, as you mentioned, in the Georgian universities. But we don't know how are we going to manage on the exams.
I mean, it depends on the subject, because remember we had this one subject where we didn't have any homework, but we only had to write midterm and final.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it was, I think, Introduction to Business.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but I bet that teachers and the lecturers know what they are doing, so they are getting us prepared to the exams.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're having less assignments that we might have in the future, I think they know what they are doing.
Obviously,
right,
yeah.
Yeah, of course. I think it also happens because of different teaching styles.
Yeah.
Like if I was a professor, we have a wonderful professor, Casey Mazoulis. He basically didn't give us homework, but gave us a project to create like a startup idea and do everything starting from like the financials to marketing to literally all the plans, and pitch it to him as like a investor play. So I feel like these kinds of classes, they contribute to you just not being tired, because some professors, you just come into class, you enjoy it, you're not burnt out, you feel good. And when you come out of uni, you're wonderful. You can do anything that you want. But then some professors, you just, anywhere in the world, in any university, there's going to be a professor who makes you more sleepy than a long ride in a taxi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Like when we compare the Western university programs like ours, and when we compare the post-Soviet Union, all this homework stuff, which one is better when it comes to, after the university you are going to have a job and work, right? So when it comes to working, what do you think, which one is better, to have the theoretical knowledge or to lag a bit in the theoretical part but to have practical knowledge a lot more?
I honestly think it depends on the field, of which field you want to go into, because some fields require a great knowledge in theory, basically, like
academics.
Yeah,
like
academics. Yeah, and mostly humanities, for example. But when it comes to like stuff like coding, for example, like it's better to maybe learn from your experience and start from coding straight away than just like over focus on theories, basically.
Okay, I'm knocked out by facts. I wanted to have a debate, but then she knocked me out. I don't have anything else to say.
Well, I can just agree, because Mariam and Tinatin, you study in IR.
Yes.
You transitioned from media to IR, right?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah. Now, I study in business, and I feel like, I don't know if that's how IR works, but for example, when you're studying business, if you're not applying it, if you don't have any space to apply what you learned in class, it becomes extremely boring and you like get fed up with the subject of business. But because I have like kind of a space to apply the knowledge that I learned in some of the classes, it becomes fun. Like some of my friends are also in they work with me, and like we work together, and it becomes fun to just think like, oh, you're in business class today, like what did you learn? Oh, well, I learned this and I learned that, and let's think about how to apply it. And it becomes really interesting and like makes your mental health a bit better.
Interesting. I mean, in IR, it's usually mostly theoretical, because you learn lots of political theories, and, you know, historical backgrounds of the countries. But we have a great professor, Zuhor.
Yeah, definitely.
And at the end of like, we have she gives us theories to like focus on, and after that she gives a discussion. So basically we have to apply all of like what we learned to like a real life situation of like how do I say
these are basically
tensions
like,
between countries and conflicts, and how would you as a leader of the country would kind of
she
like,
makes us solve like geopolitical conflicts,
Yeah.
like they're mathematical problems, and it's really nice.
That's so cool.
I know
It's
really
like
nice.
literally giving you space to apply the learned knowledge in class.
And also, when I talk to my friends who are interested in IR, I feel like my knowledge has like deepened in terms of like I wasn't aware of like what's happening in Asia or Middle East, and and I think I know more about it, honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and like you can talk about it with your friends. Like maybe they have some historical facts that you don't know about, and like I think it's fun.
What I really like about our professor is that she gives us subjects that media doesn't usually talk about. So it's not something that you may hear on TV, and I really appreciate that, because you basically have a general knowledge that extends beyond the mainstream knowledge.
She questions us a lot, which is really great. She's like, "Oh, why do you think that happened?" And we're like throwing around assumptions, and she's like, no, and then she says the answer herself, and it's always like, "Oh, that makes so much sense."
You have that realization.
Like, it's not something media would say, you know, that, for example, I don't know, US and China having economic problems, and like she dives deeper into that, and she's like, "You know why that's happening? This is why." And exactly, I love it. Yeah. Like a
so
chain
interesting.
reaction. Yeah.
I feel like we can make a conclusion out of this to not go on for too much longer. Basically, what I feel like the mood is here is that it's not even about like time management, it's more about mood management. Like how you feel about learning and studying new stuff. If you have a space to apply what you learned, makes you feel a lot better, even if you spend way too much time on the stuff. So what advice can you give to our listeners to do this if, for example, their professors don't give them such space? Or if they don't have jobs that allow them to do this?
I think it's important to find benefit in everything you do, because there's not a single situation in the world that doesn't have a benefit to it, in my opinion. So maybe, for example, something bad happened to you. It's like a learning lesson, you know? So just find all the benefits and like be grateful of the situations. If you applied that, I feel like you're going to be more mindful of what you do throughout the day.
I also feel like you can just, if you don't have, like if you're studying in business and you don't have a business, or if you're studying in IR and you don't have political debates in class, what you can do is create these debates with your friends. Like if you have, everybody has friends, at least some of them. And if you have a friend who's interested in business, debate business with him. Make up some ideas. Find ways to make them work, at least theoretically. If you do this, you can do the same thing with IR. Look at any political situations that you like and discuss them, debate on them, take opinions that you don't like, that are not yours, and
Yeah, and I would also advise to people to go into fields that they actually like. Because I'm speaking from my personal experience. Back when I was a media student, it was not something that I was interested in. And I could not visualize myself doing anything outside of studying, like outside of class maybe, or getting involved in extracurriculars and stuff. But when I transferred to IR, those activities just came naturally to me. And I also like got the urge to spend my entire time studying it and maybe to get myself involved in activities that are about IR, basically.
All right, people, thank you for sharing your experiences here. It was very enjoyable. I really enjoyed the conversation, and I hope we will meet again at the same podcast.
Of course we will.